everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ashley. I'm an architect in Ontario, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to apply for an architect's license. Now, once you've completed the 3 requirements to becoming an architect in Canada, so your education, experience, and examinations, you're eligible to apply for your architect's license. So if you're interested to understand how the process works, then let's get started. So of course, before we get started in applying for your license, you have to be eligible. So you need to complete your education, which needs to be certified, and your experience, and also examinations. So once you've completed those requirements, along with any additional requirements by your jurisdiction, then you're eligible to apply for your architect's license. As you guys know, I've been recently officially licensed, so I went through this process myself, so I'll be sharing it with you guys as well. Because I'm in Ontario, I'm going to be sharing my experience from the OAA, Ontario Association of Architects. So depending on the province in which you work and live, you would apply through that jurisdiction. So I'm going to be sharing the application process from the OAA. So the first thing you have to do when you are eligible and you're able to apply for your license is you need to fill out a form. Now, to get that form, you need to log in to your jurisdiction. So of course, I'm in Ontario. I'm going to be logging into the OAA website. So you're going to log into the OAA website and download that form. So I'm going to show you guys how that process works with the OAA. So you're going to log into the OAA website. So here I have the OAA website. So once you are on the jurisdiction of which you work and live in, you would apply through that association. So of course, again, I'm in Ontario and I'm applying through the Ontario Association of Architects, the OAA. So here we have the OAA website. So you need to go into the registration and licensing, and you're going to go into architect. So once you're an architect, you have, of course, the eligibility requirements set by the OAA. So you need to meet, of course, education, experience, which is you have to be enrolled and completed the internship program, examination, and then you have to, of course, in Ontario, complete the admission course, and then you're able to obtain your license. And they outline as well some of the benefits of becoming a member. So you're able to vote on the council, and there's all sorts of benefits as well. So once you go through the benefits, under the benefits, there's an applications and guidelines. Now, because, at least for myself, this is the first time that I'm applying, I went into the first application and guidelines. And of course, they have other applications here as well for architect's license in the US and so on. So because this is my first application, I'm going to go into the first application and guidelines. And there you have it. It takes you to a PDF. So this is the application for your license. And it's followed by a page which contains the index. It also outlines the payment of fees. So you do need to pay your annual fees, and there's a fee associated to the application as well. So when you are filling out this application, you do need to provide some supporting documents. So it's important to provide those supporting documents with your application. And we're going to go through those documents. And you need to also do a consent form and so on. So these are just some general terms. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks from the day that you do submit your application for it to get approved and become official. All of the sections of the application need to be completed and printed, and the documentation that you do submit to them will be verified. And it's verified there's several levels through the verification process, so they really do go through all of the documents. So the license term, they have a license term which goes from January 1st to December 31st of each year. And that's how the fees work as well. So that's important to note, and so on. So If you are planning to stamp your own drawings, then you're gonna need to apply for your stamp as well. That is a separate application. In my situation, because I'm working in an office that has already other architects that have their stamp, then I do not need to apply for a stamp. I only apply for my license. I don't need a stamp. So they outline here the process to get your seal and so on. And of course, if you are starting your own practice, then you need a certificate of practice, and that is a separate application. The certificate of practice, that's for Ontario. Each province is different, so please keep that in mind. So here you have the digital seal as well. So that is a separate application as well. And they provide instructions to obtain the digital seal. And then once you do get your certificate, you need to display your certificate. And then, of course, once you are licensed, you need to maintain your license, the continuing education program that's set out by the OAA. And there's, of course, fees, annual fees that you need to pay as well on a yearly basis. Now, I'm going to be doing, if you guys are interested on more information on the continuing education program, let me know down below. So this is just some further terms about the completion of the application, identification, license history, and so on. These are just some OAA documents that they attach some links, the Architects Act, and so on. So here we have the payment of fees. So this is for the OAA again. So the application fee is going to run you $336.18 if you are applying from January 1st to June 30th, and that applies, the same fee applies if you are applying January 1st to December 31st. And then you have your annual license fee, which runs at $1,020.96, and this is if you're getting your application in January 1st to June 30th. If you're submitting if you're submitting in July 1st to December 31st, then you only pay half, since your application is half of that year. You're applying in midway of the year. So you would only pay $510.48. The application fee is non-refundable, so that's also something important to keep in mind. And then you also have a few options for the payment method. There is a bit of a fee associated if you are paying through credit card. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you do pay with credit card, there is a fee associated. It's not listed here that you do get a fee charged, but that is what the OAA told me. So maybe if you are thinking of paying with the credit card, do double check with the OAA. Otherwise, your best option is to do online banking. So that is your annual fees. Then you need to submit and sign a consent form as well as part of the application. And then now we get into the actual application itself. So here we have to include just some identification information. You need to include your name, your address, how you want your name to appear on the certificate, your place of business or employment, your address for correspondence, date of birth, and you need to also provide proof of the date of birth and also of your citizenship. So if you are Canadian, you would show your Canadian passport. If you are a permanent resident, then you would show proof of that through a scanned copy of that certificate. You also need to provide just the history of your education. So when you do get certified by the CACB, you're going to get a certificate number. So you need to include that number in your application and identify the year that you were granted that certification. And of course, you need to also scan a copy of your certificate as proof. Then you get into the experience examinations, and you just have to check a box here. It's funny, when I was checking this box, I felt like, wow, such a big category, such a big item. Just this item took me 6 years to do, and all I have to do is check a box. It's incredible. Of course, it's more than just a check on a box, but it felt incredible just to check that box and say yes. So you have to submit that. And of course, if you do have a history of having a license in other jurisdictions, like in BC, in Newfoundland, and so on, you would include that history in which jurisdiction that you did get issued a license. So you would include that in this application. And then there's just some further questions on the application here. And then you just need to sign and date your application. And that's about it. That's the application process. So it's 11 pages. It's not too bad. It's actually quite exciting. It's probably the easiest part of the whole journey is the application. I couldn't believe it when I did it myself. I thought, oh wow, this is so simple. You just, check, check, check. And then of course, you just need to wait for verification, and then they do get back to you within the 4 to 6 weeks. And once you do get the okay, then you're officially an architect, and you could officially say you're an architect, and which is amazing after a journey that, for myself, it took me 15 years to complete it. It definitely is surreal when it does happen. It's really exciting. I share that journey in the video above. You can check it out, or I also included a link down below in the description box if you're curious. It is quite the process. So if you're getting value out of the video and you enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video. And again, stay tuned for more. If you do enjoy the content in this channel, make sure to subscribe so you can see more of that content. And until then, I'll see you guys next time on future videos. Bye!